we're back in Assetto Corsa. I wanted to show off the completed Ford DOF. I've got a recording as high as I can really get it. Hopefully it shows everything. Like I said, this is the 5th time that I've tried doing this. So very, very frustrated right now. Let's just see what this stupid thing can do. Shortcut on the grass. Terrible entry. Okay. Just need to drift a bit, calm down. I have spent, I don't know, an hour and 45 minutes getting useless footage, having to reset everything. And usually recording is a pain, I'm not saying it's not, but 5 different, just completely separate errors that are nonsensical, that have never happened previously. It's just, it's a lot to deal with, so I'm gonna get calm down here. Through the power of drifting. It's so very calming. Shift up in the third there. Okay, brake hard. Oh! Almost lost the wheel. That's why you have gloves. Okay. I'm not sure if I mentioned that I don't have an e-brake. See, I've recorded this 5 times, so I've mentioned it 5 times that I don't have an e-brake, so I'm not sure what I have and haven't said in this video yet. I know it's probably just the start of the video, but again, when you do something over and over and over, you're done with it, and you're done keeping track of everything you've said and which iteration. So anyway, the point of that is basically, well, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. That I don't have an e-brake, so my transitions are gonna have to be all brake and clutch. Let's go for a double donut. For a triple donut. Okay, this one's difficult without an e-brake. You will overextend frequently. Oh, that's grass. Give it a little kiss. Ooh, that's going fast. A little hard on the brakes there. Yeah, that was terrible. Try and keep this one in bounds. Good. Too much. I don't think I needed the brakes on that one. Okay, so I'm in normal Assetto Corsa on the OEM drift map. I'm in an FC RX-7. It's like Gravy Garage or something. I don't know. Paid attention at one point and said it in one of the 5 videos. Don't care at this point. I don't know. Most of the drift cars feel like, you know, they definitely feel different, but I don't think that they're so terrible and undriftable. I will say this, I have not played Assetto Corsa Evo on this simulator yet, but the settings, the physics of Evo definitely feel more realistic than this. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's the I think it might be a tire model, a breakpoint of the tire model. This one, I thought that Evo or normal Assetto Corsa always felt good until I played Evo, and when I played Evo, it just instantly clicked. And I haven't even done Evo that much in VR. So playing Evo on a flat screen, even with just the seat mover, it definitely feels like the physics are what my brain would expect. Oh, that's tragic, ladies and gentlemen. So, I definitely need to get Evo installed on this PC. This is my PC downstairs that the Ford office set up on. My other PC, essentially my testing PC, is set up outside, and that's with the seat mover, and it actually has. I did some work to it to mount my pyramid mount, which is triple screen at the bottom and one screen above it to give you a pyramid. So I got that. I fabricated some pieces to get that hard mounted to the wheel hoop that I originally purchased with the T300RS. The one that I have in my last video of the seat mover and me doing Evo license tests. That wheel hoop and pedal plate setup, I got that quite a while ago, I don't know, 4 years ago or something, for like $200. Huge steal even at the time, and haven't used it since I built Motion Sims. That was kind of the thing that really got me to focus in and be like, you know what, a motion sim would just be better than any racing frame or something. That's what I was thinking about getting, so then I went into motion sims. Oh my god. I know I'm concentrating because I'm losing my train of thought. I don't know what the hell I was talking about. Will it come back to me? I love doing this track. Let's see, I was doing the hoop. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Okay, it's back. So, I modified the wheel hoop to essentially accept the... Oh, that was a little too much swing. The wheel hoop to accept the new modified WinSim. Well, not new modified WinSim, it's just the bigger version of the WinSim. This one has 3 fans, but it's still controlled by 2 Arduinos and 2 Monster Motos. Those Monster Motos are dual channel, meaning they can handle 2 fans per Monster Moto. So if there's 2 Monster Motos and they're each dual channel, then the astute of you out there will be able to surmise that means I could run 4 fans. But I'm not. Anyone that's seen my previous videos on the Monster Moto for one of the Monster Motos in here, I basically screwed it up and messed up one of the resistors or transistors or one of those electrical components. And so one of the channels, I think it's channel 2 of one of the Monster Motos, basically doesn't function below 70%. It'll function from 70 to 100 perfectly fine, but it won't function below 70, which kind of makes it useless for a WinSim because, you know, these motors are probably going like 10%, 12% right now. So, you know, I could have set up a 4th fan and just had it as a, ultra fast fan, put it as a center, and it would only kick on when you get over 70%, which would just double the airflow to the front, which would be interesting. But I didn't have any more fans at the time, and the CFO fans are like 30 bucks, 35 bucks a piece. So they're not cheap. Getting one isn't terrible, but when I built the second wind sim that I made a video on, my part 2 of Motion Sims Are Easy, that wind sim has 4 motors. And so that's 120 bucks worth of motors right there. That doesn't include the Arduinos, that doesn't include the Monster Motos, which are kind of pricey as far as motor drivers go, especially for what you get. Considering those are 40 bucks a piece, and they will only go up to 18 volts, and they basically won't handle very much amperage at all. And if you get the Chinese 100 amp motor drivers, those things will handle, they're supposed to handle 100 amps continuously. I don't know what their voltage limit is. I know it's at least 24 volts. I'm pretty sure it's 36, maybe 48 volts. But basically way more than the Monster Moto, and it's only 10 bucks more. Those are like 50 bucks. So the only problem is, it depends on which software you're using for your wind sim. I'm using SimHub, and SimHub has very limited options on what will allow you to basically connect what motor drivers you can connect to the Arduino. There's like the Adafruit, which is for very crappy motors. I think it'll only go up to 12 volts, which is why I've never used it, and it's like not very high amperage. So it's basically for like the fans you put inside computers. And any 12 volt fan that's like 120 millimeter, it just isn't. I don't want to say it isn't going to push a ton of air, which is denoted by CFM, cubic feet per minute. But I haven't seen, the most I've seen is like 200 CFM, and those are for ball bearing 24 volt fans that are like 80 or 120 millimeters or whatever. And those things are very pricey. Those are about the same price as these fans. And these fans are 270 CFM, so you get 70 more cubic feet per minute from these fans than you will those little dinky ones. So the only thing that will allow you to run these bigger these are 12 volt, these C-flows are 12 volt. The only ones that will allow you to actually run these that'll be able to output the amperage that these need, because I think these are running at like 6 amps or something like that. Is the Monster Moto. So that's why I'm using it. Otherwise, I would not be using it. But I'm not going to use the Adafruit and the little chintzy motor. Like, nah. I'd rather have a nice, very nice air system that's a little more on the pricey side, right? This version would be 3690. 80, yeah, damn, this one would cost you about 200 bucks, not including the material for the rig or anything. That's just the electronics. It's just the fans and the 3 fans, the 2 Monster Motos, and the 2 Arduinos. So anyway, I built a frame for the wind sim to go on, and I made it to, since it's 4 fans on the second wind sim, again, because I have 2 Monster Motos, the dual channel, so 4 fans on that one. 2 in the center, and then 1 for the left and right. And on the frame, I'll probably do a video to show this off, but on the frame, I wanted to be able to move the fans, position them, because otherwise you have to, when you bolt them in to what, in this case, the little hexagon mount that I made for it, they have to be bolted in perfectly, or have a little slot to allow the thing to slip if you want. But basically you would have to like reposition them for every driver, because not everyone is the same height, and you might be moving the seat forward and backward, so basically you might need to move the wind So I made a mount that will allow it to pitch up and down for different heights, and I made the two motors on the sides have little arms, so that way you can position them. Oh, yep, that's the escape button. That's the only thing I don't. I might put like a cap over that. That way I can flip it up and hit it if I need to. Boom, boom. Get it, get it, get it, get it. Alright. God, I hope this video comes out good. Like, you know, as good as my videos come out. I hope that it's watchable, is the point I'm trying to get at. Because I will have spent like 2.5 hours. Actually, no, because I still gotta edit it and put it together. Editing's not bad. I might learn how to put a song on there. There might be some royalty-free music in the background. But I don't have a ton of time to do this. So we'll see. I might save that for a different video. But probably will do another video showing off the wheel hoop outside. So I made that the Winsome, got that connected to it, and then when playing on it, I didn't like just having the one 4K monitor. So I've had triple screen 24-inch pretty much for the longest time, since I've had a 970. So that's how long that's been. But ever since VR, I basically have gotten away from triple screen, because who the hell uses triple screen when you have VR? Like, good VR. Like, I can understand if we're talking the CV1, triple screen is probably better than the Oculus CV1. But if you're talking the HP Reverb G2, nah, I'll take this any day over monitors. Like, there's still pixelation, it's not perfect, and newer headsets are probably better. And I also only have a 3080 instead of like a 5080. So it's not perfect, but triple screens, like being able to turn my head real time and like look behind me, it'll render all, there's no limitation. I've tried the head tracking shit. I did that when it was OpenTrack IR. I mean, it's okay, but it's just so like, how dumb is it to move your head, but your eyes still have to watch the screen in front? So like, if you want to look behind you, you basically have to turn your head 90 degrees, but your eyes still have to make contact to see what the hell is on the screen. Like, it just never... Track IR was fantastic when there was no VR, right? It was good. I still liked triple screen, but Track IR with triple screen was perfect. That was perfect, because you could turn and there would be a screen where you're turning. But once VR came, it was just like, they need to get the resolution down, but once they get the resolution down, there's nothing that's going to beat it. Low latency, it feels literally the first and only, I can succinctly say, the first and only time I've ever literally felt like I was in a game. God damn, I keep getting off track, I'm sorry. Anyway, as I was saying, built a mount for my triple screens. I had to buy another Dell 24-inch screen, but I got one for like $15, because you can get screens stupid cheap now. And I didn't care if it was a TN panel. I didn't care if it was 60 hertz, because all of my monitors are old. The last time I actually spent money on monitors, well, a triple screen setup, was when I was I don't want to say the latest technology at the time, but the technology I was into at that time was NVIDIA's 3D Vision. I want to say it was kind of maybe at the tail end of NVIDIA's 3D Vision. So I got 3 3D Vision monitors, so that way I could run 3D Vision in triple screen. But then I found out about, I don't know, a bit of a wild ride. Let's see. It is up there. I always forget that it's a dog leg. It's dog leg reverse with a lockout. Slider in. Slider in. Oh, bit much slider. We might have to reset to get new tires. Okay. So I was building a triple screen mount for the wheel hoop outside. I wanted it to be removable, so that way the wheel hoop could go back to normal as much as possible. So I drilled holes through the top of it to be able to bolt the wind sim to it, and then I drilled holes in the legs. So the wheel hoop is one of those that's like, it has the pedal plate and then it has the hoop itself that comes off it, and that hoop can collapse. So it's like collapsible and you could store it and whatnot. So on those legs that extend, I drilled holes through those and then made supports and then made a little top that the triple screen monitor mount sits on. So now I have triple screen, because I don't have VR out there, because the only other VR helmets I have are CV1s, and those are pretty bad at this point. Even though all of my gaming rigs, all 3 of them do have 3080s in them, and a 3080 is enough to push out, you know, another Reverb G2. I just don't know. I haven't bought another G2 yet. I do plan on doing it because I would love to like rent space for maybe a pop-up for VR motion simulators, but I want to do that after I build my 3rd simulator, and so that way I'll basically have a sampling of motion simulators that people can test. Yeah, and making sure all the motors are still working, because if you play this so much, like, it becomes second nature and you don't feel it, right? But if I try and play a racing game without the motion simulator, it feels so weird. Like, once you have a motion simulator for a while, it feels so weird to play driving games in just a flat chair. To not feel that transition, that weight shift of the car. Oh, that would be crazy. Like, how do people drift without that? It seriously was impossible for me to drift without a motion simulator. The second I got a motion simulator, everything made sense. And it was all because I could feel the transition of the car. Like, those weren't bad. It was this point, knowing that, and then that. Like, those are the hard parts of the transitions. The initial dump in is fine, but this, knowing when to let off, and let the car re-grip up, I mean, this I might have been able to do. But I'll tell you what, it is so much easier. Also, having the surge is fantastic. It's not too much for drifting. It's not as noticeable and as good as it would be for racing, but the traction loss is obviously what you want for the drifting. And on mine, I actually have a good amount of range and articulation in both my traction loss and my surge. I want to say traction loss is on a 7-inch lever arm, so it'll lose 7 inches positive, 7 inches negative, which gives it a total range of 14 inches. So foot and 2 inches, that's not too bad. My traction loss lever arm, I believe, is 6 inches. So that gives me a foot. Total side to side. Now, I don't have it set to where I'm utilizing the entire 180 degrees, so it's probably closer to 5 inches, probably closer to 10 inches total travel than 12, and then the surge is probably closer to a foot than it is to 14 inches. But I think that's still much better than like something like 3 inches, right? If you have like 1.5 inch lever arm. I mean, that's still better than nothing, don't get me wrong, but it's like any sort of acceleration, you wouldn't have any range of acceleration. Like, the clutch is notoriously terrible in Assetto Corsa. I haven't customized it or set it up, but essentially, like, I can go there and then, like, keep accelerating, basically, right? And so it gives me more, having that entire distance gives me, I don't necessarily want to say more precise control, because you aren't controlling the motor necessarily more precisely. It's just that distance, I think, allows your brain more time to comprehend what's happening. It feels more like a movement instead of a cue. And while motion cueing can be a very good thing, and a lot of people swear by it, I want it to feel like a ride. I want it to feel like, I want it to terrify people. Because you're driving, like, a lot of people compare it to driving a car, and I'm like, yeah, but how often are you driving a car like this, right? Like, no one drives a car around like this, unless you're in California's fucking streets and you're a moron. But other than that, normal people don't go around driving their cars like this, so they don't really have a comparison point, right? And so they're like, it moves a lot, and it's it's terrifying. And I'm like, yeah, it's supposed to be. You're driving a NASCAR 200 miles an hour on a 20-degree incline bank. Like, you have no point of reference for that. You don't know if this is more or less terrifying than that. I can guarantee you that you would be more terrified in real life, because there's real consequences. You're not sitting inside of my room with a helmet on your head, right? Like, there's very little consequences for me just to do this. And we're fine. But, oh yeah, goddamn, turn radius. That would have been more violent, but I turned the front 2 motors down because they're overheating. In some of the previous videos, I've talked a lot about the modifications I wanted to do this thing, because every time I get in it, I think of something else. The latest modifications I've wanted to do were to help the motors, but I think the motors are fine. Like, I'm willing to bet that if I test them right now, they won't even be anywhere near as warm as the motors on the seat mover get when it's outside. But again, the seat mover's outside in Arizona, so they're gonna be warm. And it's July, so they're gonna be warm. So I don't think I need to move the motors on this. I still might, because again, anyone that's shorter and more rotund, it'll be an issue for, because they have to move the seat forward, and if you move the seat forward, you're taking less weight off of the U-joint, and less weight back of the U-joint, which acts as a seesaw, a teeter-totter, balancing out all of the weight up here. So if you don't do that, then the motors are holding up all the weight, and the motors can't do that. So I still might move them, but I think I've definitely figured out what the resolution. What the resolution for this wobble is. See this wobble? This wobble is bad. Don't like that wobble. I thought it was because I thought I could build a joint in the center that would be strong enough to resist those forces. And from everything I'm seeing, everyone else that has a traction loss frame, I think Dr. ADHD and I are the only ones that have a T-point for the spine, although we have a Ford off, so that does kind of change it. But having the T-point for the spine means that since it's not a box frame, stop so I can do that. Since it's not a box frame, with the swivel joint mounted here, I hope to God you guys can see this. With it mounted here and it being able to swivel like that, ours is just a regular T frame, right? Like a T going up, and then it's just mounted here. So it can still swivel, all that stuff's great. But when you start adding forces to the side, it wants to twist it this way. Everybody puts, they build a square frame for their mid frame, and then they put caster wheels, I've seen rollerball transfer wheels on the front corners, and so so that way it can still articulate, but it can't teeter-totter because those wheels prevent it from happening. So all of that's to say, I'm going to do the same thing. I don't know if I'm going to get those ball caster wheels, because the ones that I found that would be appropriate are like $300 for one, and that ain't gonna happen. I could build an entire motion simulator for that. So like literally the seat mover outside you could build for around about that. So I think it's like $380 something for the roller wheel that I found, the metal ball transfer wheel. So I'm not gonna do that. That's ridiculous. I'm going to on the front plate is like an L that mates up with the spine, the surge spine. I'm going to extend that front plate out, and then I'm going to put swivel wheels that are basically like the traction loss wheels in the back. I'm going to put those on the sides, and then just weld them on there, and so that'll prevent it from teetering like this, like flippy floppy teetering back and forth. I'm hoping, at least. So that'll be the next modification for this. Anyway, guys, I think that's pretty much it for now. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you later.